Can writers write worlds that they haven't lived in? Can you write a police drama without having worked in the police force? Or maybe a series about corporate empires without having run a company? What about forensic procedurals without being a pathologist? Of course you can. The writers of Star Trek didn't go to space. So the question isn't can you, it's how is that world shaped? Now, let's look at Silent Witness. I mentioned forensic science. They did the world building properly. Silent Witness is a long-running BBC procedural set in a forensic science laboratory. Now, when developing and evolving the series, the production team researched properly, and they encountered Dr. Gillian Bell, a real forensic scientist with, and I'm going to read this off my screen so I'll get it right, osteogenesis imperfecta. She uses a wheelchair. She worked in the field. She was entirely competent. In fact, she was very good at her job. And she was entirely credible in that professional world. She consulted. So when Clarissa Mullery was created and Liz Carr was cast in that role, the character was grounded in reality. It was entirely realistic for a disabled forensic scientist to work in that world. That's solid craft. Now, Clarissa was initially the only main character without a romantic storyline. So when she was given one, the early framing leaned towards, will he love me? Can disabled people have sex? The husband was initially conceived as an unattractive man in a sexless marriage. The emotional expectations were low. Not hostile, not malicious, just limited. That's where the distance doesn't show up in research. It shows up in the narrative expectation. Now, good for her, Liz Carr pushed back. Her character expanded. Nothing about the forensic science changed, but the ceiling changed, and her storylines got better because of it.
So One Day is an episode by Timothy Prager. It's set in a number of different care homes, a very different world. We've not seen that before on Silent Witness, I don't believe. And it's around very much disability, all set amongst the usual Silent Witness crimes and murders and forensic investigations, but in a very different setting, and one that absolutely for me as a disabled person is really personal. Kevin was disabled. Noreen Fielden was disabled. Serena is disabled. But he thinks that they're all, I don't know, less.
Now, Silent Witness have evolved over the years. They featured other disabled characters.
You didn't tell your mum that you were auditioning for Silent Witness,
I made the mistake of telling her of the first self-tape, and she's very supportive of every job I'm up for. She's normally like, oh, well, fingers crossed, you know. Whereas I went, oh, I've got a self-tape for Silent Witness, and she went, what? And I was like, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
They support disabled craft people through shadowing schemes. A friend of mine, a director, a wheelchair user, shadowed the directors, got a lot of experience from that. Inclusion has evolved. This is growth. This is great growth. It's not perfection, but it's great. Writers can absolutely write beyond lived experience. Research works, consultation works, imagination works, but distance can quietly install ceilings about what feels plausible. Imagination builds worlds, lived experience expands what feels possible inside them, and that's what interests me.